Hello guys, welcome. Hello everyone, welcome again to my channel. I'm Coco Ramazani, and some other people call me Colette. So welcome to my channel. It has been a little while. We didn't chat. I miss you guys. It has been a little while. We didn't chat, and it's because I wasn't feeling well. But I'm better now. Welcome. It's not that easy to talk about my story. Sometimes it make me sick after, and I think that's what happened when I did the last video about Pastor Musafiri experience. I was kind of sick, so that's why you didn't hear from me. There was just too much going on. So anyway, welcome back, and we're gonna talk again about the next chapter, for Pastor Musafiri, what he did to me. Without wasting your time, please, first of all, remember to share this video, and remember to subscribe. Remember to hit the notification button, so that way you don't miss any other episode that I'm gonna have to do, and we have to continue the fight. All right, so don't forget to subscribe, please, and share the videos to others. I think we can go on our book for today. The chapter I'm going to talk about today is where Pastor Musafiri was confronted by my family members. It was really hard for me when I was in church, as a singer, as a teenager, where the pain came from, or for molestation. That's what we are talking about in this book. And the book called Tell This to My Mother. Tell This to My Mother. This is the book I'm talking about. It's my story, my experiences, what I went through. And I am on the chapter for Pastor Musafiri, what he did to me, how he molested me when I was a teenager at church of Sayuni Sepak in Bukavu in Congo, or DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. That's where I came from, that's where I was born, and that's where this experience happened, at church at Sayuni. So please be attentive, because I'm gonna go chapter by chapter almost every time. So today we are going to talk about how he was confronted by my family member. It was one day, one night, that's well, for people who was defending Pastor Musafiri, now hear this. It was one night, I was returning home, and it was already late. We had program at church, and then he asked me to wait again, as usual. And that night, he was returning me home, and he was with Baba Penzi, as usual. When he was returning me home, we got home. Just when we entered, I saw there was a lot of people in the living room. I was living at the number 34 in Chimbunda Premier at that time. So when I opened the door, there was many people, like several sisters in there. And in my big surprise, also my brother-in-law, my sister Albertine's husband, was also there. I didn't expect that. And at that time, when he brought me home, it was after, when we got to Hello Kadutu. He touched me again. He kissed me forcefully. Before he took me home. So when I was already very upset when I arrived home because of what he just did. After he touched me, my breast, and kissed me forcefully. Now he said he's gonna take me home and opened the door. Here there were people in the living room, among them my brother-in-law, as I said. So my brother-in-law, my sister Albertine's husband, was there, which I was surprised to see him at that time in the house, because he wasn't that kind of a man who was just staying at our house, because my sister Albertine was living on number 64 and we were at number 34, so it wasn't that far. But he wasn't the kind of man who was out late. So that's why I was surprised to see him there at that moment, at that time, because it was very late for him to be home, to be at our house instead of being at his house. So just when I entered, they all looked at me like I was a stranger. The look on their faces, I knew immediately I was in trouble. I was in trouble immediately. And you can find with this, what I'm talking about, how my family confronted Pastor Musafiri. For me, he's not really a pastor, but I'm gonna keep calling him pastor because that's how people knew him. And I'm talking the experiences I had with him. That is on chapter 69, or you can start from chapter 68, or you can start actually you can start from chapter 67, But where he was confronted by my family, 69, you start from there. So when I saw the reaction on their faces just when I entered, I knew immediately I was in trouble. Something was going to happen to me, because it was really unusual to see all of them there home at that time. So then Pastor Musafiri was trying to leave after he dropped me home, and they told him no. They start questioning him. They start yelling. My brother-in-law was straight with him. He confronted him really in very aggressive way, not physically, but just with words, to ask him why he's bringing me home late all the time, and what was going on, and why I was the only one who was staying late at church. Pastor Musafiri was explaining things that was nonsense. But my family confronted him at that time because it was just out of control. I can say how I was coming home late as a teenager. I was coming home late, and that wasn't okay. I knew it wasn't okay. And Pastor Musafiri was keeping me at church until late, knowingly that wasn't really, I was just a kid, I was a kid who needed to be home, and I could be in trouble home by my siblings by coming home late all the time. And he was doing that. He knew I didn't have a parents. I didn't have a mother and a father. He knew that. So things became very bad for me to come home late all the time. And that's why my family members, my sisters, and my brother-in-law decided to confront him, decided to wait for me that night, because it became like a habit, bad behavior. It became bad behavior, really. I was coming home late, and I was just a teenager. So they decided to wait for me and confront him. And it was bad that night. It was bad. The confrontation was bad, very verbally. The confrontation was really bad, guys. I just got caught in the middle of this argument. They were arguing. My family members were after Pastor Musafiri, and they told him to stop bringing me home late, to stop keeping me until late at church. They really confronted him, as any parent really can try to protect, the child. And that's what my family did. Because it was just getting very bad, Pastor Musafiri, to bring me home late. And that wasn't okay. That was not okay. And I was in pain already emotionally, knowingly. Each time he told me to stay behind after the church service or after the choir practice, I knew what was gonna happen to me again. And this became so painful to me because each time he was with me, he was molesting me. Um, so my family really tried to protect me at that time, um, from coming late or from him, because he was bringing me home very late, and this became a big problem to me. um you know, I left. I mean, like, after the argument or the confrontation, when they confronted him, um I remember, like, if I can read on page 69, or we can start on page 68. In the choir, there was a man about the same age as he, Baba Penzi. He was the only old person in the group. The average age varied between 20 and 30 years old. At 12, at 12, I was the exception, the baby. Indeed, I was very, very young among the singers. I was the youngest um, in choir, in choir A. Um, Indeed, everyone treated me as a child, yet with esteem and respect. No doubt due to my gift as a singer, including Baba Penzi, who looked all of his 50 plus years but still had a remarkable um, baritone voice. He was a Pastor Musafiri closest friend. That's what I said. Baba Penzi was Pastor Musafiri closest friend. The pastor used him to avoid detection by the other members of the group. This as I systematically remained in the church after everyone else had left. Baba Penzi also stayed, but he always made sure to slip away at the opportunity moment so that I could be alone with Musafiri. I began to return home later and later. I knew a confrontation with my sisters was inevitable. It came 2 years too late, but it came nevertheless. I was barely 14 years old. Musafiri had just left me at the front door and was getting ready to return home. What a surprise when I entered the house and found her along with Zaza, Leonie, Gemani, and the husband of my sister Tina, our oldest sister. My sister Tina's husband outside to intercept Musafiri before he walked away. Yeah, my sister's husband stopped him from leaving. He forced him into the house. An argument followed. My sisters asked the pastor the reason why he kept a young girl at the church so late, well after all the adults had left. This girl has been chosen by God. So that's how my family confronted him. You can read that on page 60. You start on page 68 and 69, how my family confronted him. And you can read it from there, the entire chapter, what happened. So what I'm trying to say is this. My family confronted Pastor Musafiri. So for those people who are trying to think that this was a joke, or trying to think that Pastor Musafiri, my family didn't confront him, my family confronted him. And because things start getting out of control, bringing me home late, keeping me at church all the time, bringing me, making up like a false program that wasn't a church program, that was really problematic. So Pastor Musafiri was a monster. Pastor Musafiri was a pedophile. Pastor Musafiri was molesting me constantly. And that's why my family confronted him, because something wasn't right. Something was wrong. My family members, my sisters, so that something was wrong. Why I was coming home late all the time I went to church. Why? Something was wrong. And that's how they decided to confront him that night. So Pastor Musafiri was a monster. Pastor Musafiri was a pedophile. Pastor Musafiri molested me over and over and over. Pastor Musafiri wasn't a pastor. He wasn't. Why he wasn't living up on what they taught, that no sex before marriage, but he was the one, again, who was molesting me over and over and over. So, guys, protect your children. I will keep repeating that. Protect your children. When you see a pastor close to your child all the time, know that something is going on. When you see a pastor keeping your child at church late, step in. When you see your pastor just flourishing with, flirting with your child, step in and protect your child. Know that something is going on. When you see your pastor or a pastor close to your wife all the time, know that something is happening. Protect your family member. Protect your children. Protect the kids from this pedophile, from this predator. Protect them. Ma famille avait confronté Pasteur Musafiri. Ma famille avait confronté Pasteur Musafiri. Et tu peux trouver ça à la page 68-69 et tu continues. parce que c'était devenu très, très, très difficile pour moi d'être à la maison à temps. Et pasteur Musafiri, cette nuit-là, il m'a mené encore à la maison comme d'habitude. Et voilà que ma famille, le membre de ma famille, mes soeurs et l'un de mes beaux-frères l'attendaient. Et c'est à ce moment-là que ma famille l'avait confronté. Alors, tu peux lire ça de toi-même dans la version française. Tu peux trouver ce que j'avais mentionné. So, Pasteur Musafiri, il n'était pas un pasteur. Pasteur Musafiri n'était pas un pasteur. Mais il m'avait molesté pendant des années jusqu'au point où ma famille l'avait confronté. Donc, du fait qu'il m'amenait chaque fois à la maison trop tard. Je retournais toujours à la maison trop tard la nuit. Je retournais toujours à la maison trop tard la nuit. Et c'est parce que Pasteur Musafiri, c'est lui qui me retenait toujours à l'église. C'est lui qui me retenait toujours soit chez lui. C'est lui qui me retenait toujours, je ne sais pas, donc quelque part. Toujours, chaque fois que j'allais à l'église, si Pasteur Musafiri était là, il allait toujours me retenir. Et ça, ce n'était pas bien. J'étais devenue très démoralisée. J'étais devenue très, vraiment émotionnelle. Parce que les choses commençaient à être très, très dangereuses. Pasteur Musafiri m'avait tellement blessée. Pasteur Musafiri m'avait tellement molestée chaque fois qu'il me retenait à l'église. Alors, protège tes enfants. Lorsque tu vois un pasteur tout près de tes enfants, protège tes enfants ou ta femme. Nous allons continuer encore prochainement. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe and share the videos with everybody. Thank you. Until we meet next time again. See you soon.